Hi, greetings friends. Jacque Howard here, and I'm testing out some new technology in my studio, which is also our home, the Amans Brindle Studio. So some of the artwork around like that and that is my stuff there, some conceptual things, some costume things, my Telly Award. Big shout out to Bill Knowles, Darnell Story, and DJ It's Just a Mod, who also won that award with me. But we'll talk about arts in a little bit. I'm really fired up about so many things. I usually don't look at the start of a new year as anything like huge. It's just kind of another cycle. It's kind of like that with my birthday. But this year was a little different. It was a little different for a number of reasons. But just a few of them I'm going to touch on now, because part of the excitement is that I get a chance to try out new technologies and try out some different things. And one of those new technologies is this new camera that I'm trying out here. It is a Mevo camera, M-E-V-O. And it's small. I'll show some pictures of it. It looks super cool. It's hard to detect, but the quality is good. I'm learning about the back end stuff, meaning what else you can do with adding graphics and things like that. So going forward, and yes, going forward, this technology will be part of what Trenton 365 networks will be sharing their shows on the different platforms. It will increase opportunities for organizations to display more content on the screen, but it will also provide a revenue stream for us to have advertisers. So if you're an advertiser, you want to get involved with this, we'll be able to do some more things on location with more accessibility. In addition to that, the archiving process will be a little better. Not that we're not archiving, but it'll be a little bit more detailed. So for 2024, before Tiger comes in, and he always likes to say hi. You want to just come in here right now and say what's up? Come on if you come. Yeah. So this is Tiger. So this whole thing started during COVID, when my wife Vanessa and I were videoing. Video conferencing, just like many others. He started to want to be a part of all the videos, and a few of my friends, in particular Flip, whenever he hears Phil or Flip, he wants to pop in and say what's up. So sometimes this is difficult for me to do this. So here, how about we just put you down? All right, and we'll catch up with you later. All right. So going back to, some of the things that I'm excited about, it's Jacque's R.E.A.C.H. So I know I've been talking for a while about this book, My Black Cannabis Experience, and when's it going to be done and all that other stuff. And as I said before, it's an ongoing series. So it's an ongoing series that'll, be talking about different phases of things that have happened, within cannabis and are happening in cannabis. And, me and my partners, besides being at the forefront of stuff that's happening, there's a lot of things that are changing rapidly and quickly. But Jacque's R.E.A.C.H. will be the second book. So the outline for that is basically all set up. But finishing up My Black Cannabis Experience, that'll be an ongoing series. I hope for it to turn into like a zine, or something that is a bit of a, not a daily, but something that is more tangible, that people can have in their hands, and it'll be a limited production. So each and every one of them will be like an artist collector's piece, spin on graphic novels and comic books, and using different ways to make art is what this will be about. So stay tuned for My Black Cannabis Experience, the book. We're just about done. I would have had it done, but the service that I'm using, they changed the length of books, so I had to come up with a couple other chapters, and I was procrastinating with doing it because I had so much else going on. But okay, now it's done. It's good. Uh, so the book is coming, My Black Cannabis Experience, the booklet, the bulletin, and big shout out to Trish, who is putting that together. Trish over at R.E.A.C.H Fiction. So as I mentioned, I'm transitioning from the board of Trenton Cycling Revolution as the president, then co-chair with Kathy Deal. I'll be transitioning to more of an advisory board, meaning I'll be supporting the organization, but I won't be attending board meetings. I'll be supporting the organization by talking about it, advocating for it, continuing to host events and do things to shine light on what the organization is doing, and any work that I do that is about biking and pedestrian, ADA compliancy, any of those things, it will include Trenton Cycling Revolution. So under recreation, we've got, TCR, that will still be a thing. The Facebook page, Capital City Rollers, all things human powered with wheels, is on Facebook. So if you follow that, that will also be a combination of biking and rolling things, but we'll also be talking about skateboarding and the Friends of Amtico Square page there, because yes, it looks like we're at another point when the the funding, the bureaucracy is aligning itself so that we can move into the next step. So we're in the design phase for the park now. You can head over to the Facebook page, Friends of Amtico Square, and there you can see the updates where we are. You can really see some cool imagery as we've captured the whole process and the documentation from the beginning to where we are now. And then you can also send a message there and say if you want to, be a part of that. As the weather breaks, people will be skateboarding outside more. But big shout out to the folks who are like downtown skating now. See a bunch of guys doing that. But also during the indoor season, make sure you check out our friends at freedomnj.org. Excuse me. freedomnj.org. That's the group that handles the indoor skate park here in Trenton as well, so you can check them out, Freedom NJ. Also with recreation, I am transitioning onto a board, Swing to Tee Golf with Pat Lindsay Harvey. It's her foundation, her organization. And it's a South Jersey chapter, Willingboro area based. And the idea is to teach people golf and how awesome this game of golf is. And I've been playing golf off and on for a long time. Not very good either. However, I committed to the game, playing the game, because I'm not playing competitive sports anymore. So something to get me out of the house, something I can kind of focus my competition on, my energies, and keep my movements and my faculties, and something to drive me to work out more with. I think I missed something that I wanted to say about that. I'll have to talk about that in the future. But so with me recommitting to golf, I just so happen to really be developing a tighter relationship with filmmaker Jamal Green, who's also a golfer. And we've played a handful of times this year, had a good time. I think that our levels are very similar. Like, besides the fact that we're amateurs, like it's one match or one time we play, one round we play, we do good on the front nine, bad on the back nine. So we started thinking about, okay, what would it be like if we committed a little bit to the game and said, look, we're going to play, and we're going to play on a regular basis. Kind of like when I was playing softball and we were traveling, we were practicing and all this stuff. We knew 2 nights, 4 nights, whatever nights it was a week, this is what we were doing. So I liked that idea. And so we started thinking about it. And then I said, I've been playing with clubs that are, they're blades, like from, garage store, garage yard sale or something like that. And I had just happened to hear about this company called PXG. Now I'm learning more and more about, what the company is about and who they support, and the different the backline stuff of what the organization does. But the concept of golf and custom golf clubs at an affordable price, high level quality, was something that really made sense to me. And I'm like, stuff lining up here. So I went and got a full bag fitting with PXG, with Jamal as well. We took some pictures, and I'll be sharing more about that in a blog post. But we got custom clubs, and we got these clubs, and the immediate improvements just with knowing what is the right club for you as far as length and lie and all those different things is critical. And I suggest that anyone who's going to play the game and want to play the game, invest in some capacity in your own clubs, but definitely invest in a fitting. If you don't buy the clubs, it's fine, but at least if you get the data and information about what are your tendencies, then you can at least get clubs, whatever brand that tickles your fancy. You can get that on your own, but do the fitting. And PXG's fitting, I think it was $50. So even I think the $50 for the fitting alone was worth it. Just again to get the understanding about where my swing is and where I am as a golfer, and what I'm playing with currently, and how having the right equipment can make a huge difference. So even if you don't purchase from PXG, if you have this data, it's going to be helpful. But I will say that my personal experience and Jamal's experience was awesome. The PXG crew in Philadelphia, Larry, was fantastic. We had some different correspondence via phone, email. That was with the store manager. I even talked to the regional manager. Shout out to them as well. It was all good. And in fact, I was scheduled to get my clubs, so that would have been 10 days is what I was notified, but I ended up getting it in 8 days, and they actually delivered my clubs on a weekend. So haven't opened them yet, but I wanted to do this recording, and then I'm going to open these clubs and take pictures of them and share about that. But I'm stoked about playing golf. Pat Lindsay Harvey's nonprofit organization, Swing to Tee Golf, which is the South Jersey chapter, is one of the ones that I'm going to be participating with. The environment. So we've got lots of issues and so forth, with just the environment in general. We see it in our plant life. We see it in like a lot of litter and filth and things that we have here. And, I'm just assuming that this is pretty much a cultural thing for human beings. So I'm encouraging folks to figure out how we can get ahead of this. Doing cleanups and things like that, I get it. But myself and many others, my peers, have done many cleanups, brought different groups together to clean up space, and it's been littered, or even worse, shortly thereafter. We know that this is a bigger problem, and it's time for us to address the bigger problem. We know that illegal dumping and so forth is an issue. I'm assuming that many of the folks who are doing that, it's because they just don't understand. They could be saving themselves trouble, issues, and doing good for their community if they would just take it to the proper authorities. Now, is there something we can do with the rates? Because if the rates are an issue and people would rather not spend $20, $50, $100, 5%, 10% of a contracted job to properly dispose of trash to keep their community nicer, I would think they would do that, as opposed to if we started fining, FINING, fining those individuals and those organizations and fining them big time. not just a slap on the wrist and community service, but no, taking your vehicle off the street for a while. I like to consider it like what we used to think about when alcohol, drunk driving was a big thing. People were just terrified to drive drunk, because of the impact of what it would be if they got caught. Maybe that's something we need to do with litter and so forth. I know we also have lots of issues here in Trenton and other post-industrial cities of the same age, with asbestos as well as lead. And there's some organizations that are doing some work around that. Isles is one of them. If you're in one of these homes, if you're in a home that's of a certain age, do some homework, and find out what could be in your house before you purchase it, before you lease it, any of those things, because you could be doing lifelong harm to yourself, any young people in there, any elderly folks, older folks who are living there, who have maybe predisposed health concerns or issues. So let's just think about that. If we've got this product that was widely used throughout all manufacturing and houses that were built in this particular time frame, and if we know that a neighborhood, a city, a region were all using this product, then let's at least be honest with them and go to those folks and start saying, hey, look, this might be an issue. And we can also try to figure out how do we get the services to them and prevent this type of thing from happening in the future. Because codes change, statuses change, all those different things change over time. As we get smarter, we get more intelligent, etc. But with that, let's be honest with the people who are going to be the ones who are living in these situations. No one wants to put themselves in harm's way. No one wants to put their family or any of their loved ones in harm's way. Then why is it okay to expect that it's okay for someone else's family? Keep that as an overarching theme, as I talk about things and I venture into the world of TikTok. Big shout out to Dan Regan, who's encouraging that. But because I'm going to be talking about some really simple things, like a lot of folks want to be respected and demand respect, and how dare you talk to them or one of their loved ones, but they'll literally go and talk to multitudes of people in the same way or worse. How do we get those folks to start looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, hey, look, if I really want this, then I should be giving it to someone else. It's kind of like love and affection and relationships. Like, you can't expect that everything's going to come to you. You get to pick and choose. But then when it comes to the other side, that you're not going to be one of the ones that's being picked or chosen. It's just pretty much common sense. But again, common sense ain't so common. And whose common sense is common, right? All right, let me get back to R.E.A.C.H. Arts, and this will be quick. So Trenton 365 Performing Arts on Facebook page. They're bands, artists of all genres that I've had a chance to either meet, interview, talk to, seen, perform live, communicated with in some capacity, have a connection to them. That page is dedicated to me showcasing those folks and encouraging others in my network to check them out and start tying together some of those things, those pieces that art is that interconnects us. So Trenton 365 Performing Arts. And the documentation, a lot of that with photography and paintings and stuff like that, is by Lifestyle by Amans Brindle. And you can consider that the Facebook page there, that'll be like almost like an art house for all things related to art. So I've already given you a couple things: Capital City Rollers, Friends of Antico Square, Lifestyle by Amans Brindle, Trenton 365 Performing Arts. All right. Via civics, I worship at Westminster Presbyterian Church, which is located at 1140 Greenwood Avenue. It's a multi-generational, multi-ethnic, multicultural church of light, meaning we're all welcoming to whomever you are. You want to come and worship God, come and worship God. And with that being said, we've recognized that there's a need in our community, specifically here in Trenton, for our returning citizens who have gone through several phases of not only paying their debts to society, but have also felt the brunt of the other systemic issues, like having to check a box, not be able to get certain opportunities, whether it's housing or anything, banking. So with Trenton Microloan Collaborative, the website is trentonmicroloan.org. Westminster Presbyterian Church and Nassau Presbyterian Church in Princeton have come together and with others in the community and have found our own funding to support entrepreneurs who were previously incarcerated in a multitude of ways, but not a one-off, not just a check, but coming alongside and supporting the businesses on a regular basis, contracting them for their services in our networks, etc., and documenting this about how this is what faith communities, not just churches and synagogues and mosques, the secret holy sites, none of those places individually, but we as people of faith in general, faith centers where people of faith gather. What would it look like if our local community knew what we did and what we wanted to do, and we were doing it in conjunction just because it was the right thing to do? For us at Westminster, we've felt it is to work with returning citizens, those who were previously incarcerated, and at the current time, through Trenton Microloan Collaborative, the website trentonmicroloan.org, we are assisting entrepreneurs in their whatever their entrepreneur space is once they've met a certain number of requirements to support them in their business, like a family. And again, you find out more one more time at the website trentonmicroloan.org. Also with civics, Library Boxes of Trenton. I've been fortunate enough to get a proclamation. I don't have it right here. A few years back, at the time, Verlena Reynolds Jackson was the councilwoman who presented it before council. And Library Boxes of Trenton came into existence to offer up a DIY community response to the public libraries being closed in the city. Through several partners, I was able to source books, reading materials, as well as some funding to pay artists to upcycle old newspaper boxes into library boxes. And to date, we've been able to distribute thousands of pieces of reading materials, but it's also expanded into being able to connect with the public schools in Trenton and some of the organizations in those schools to distribute reading materials as I've grown in a relationship with distributors of reading materials of all sorts for all ages. So sourcing is something that Trenton 365 does as well. The Facebook page, Library Boxes of Trenton. I'm giggling because so many of my friends are writing books, and including myself. So I have more authors that I can interview. I could probably do a weekly podcast just on the authors that I know. I'm not going to do that. I can hear my wife in there snickering. Nah, man, I'm not gonna do that. But I will commit. I will commit to doing one a month, 1 30-minute podcast a month to an art author who I personally know. So that's a charge to all of you out there. If you've given me your book, or I bought your book, or it's on our bookcase, please get in touch with me. Let's sit down and do these interviews. We can bang them all out, and get some more folks reading your past, present, and future writings. That would be fantastic. H, health. All right. So health, I want you to think about it from this perspective, is wellness. Overall wellness, homeostasis is a term that I learned in massage school. It's all around balance. And I know that's something that I'm personally, seeking all the time. It's just that balance, almost like being buoyant, floating in water, whether it's water like the ocean or water such as the air, just being balanced. And with that, I'm a believer in therapy, and I believe folks should take what they need for themselves to be in a space where they feel comfortable, more balanced, etc. I also believe that it's super important to have a professional. I know that there aren't a lot of there's a lot of stigma with overall wellness and health, like the way you look, or if you're dealing with mental issues, or if you've got mobility issues, there's stigma that's around that. And I don't think that there's one all-encompassing organization that handles all those different things. But I feel what I can do is at least say, hey, look, to all you organizations that are out there, just reach out to me so that I can start telling people about who you are and what you're doing, etc. People of color were never really concerned, or at least I know I wasn't concerned about skin cancers. But that is an issue now if you're a person of color. Even melanated folks are getting skin cancer, and it's one of the most treatable cancers. But there's also one that's killing people. It's almost the same thing, with prostate cancer. Men get checked. Go to your doctor, first of all, and you might not have to have this so dreaded test that you're concerned about. Maybe that's not needed for you. Maybe it's something else. But the best thing to do is just go to the doctor on a regular basis and find out. New year, get the stuff out of the way. Get your physical. Eyes. I recently had my eyes examined and got some new glasses, some new technology with them too. I'll let you know how that all shakes out. Big shout out to, I won't say their name yet. They told me to wait until they get settled with some things. But I got a great experience. I've got multiple pairs of glasses, and I can see better. And I thought I could see fine before, but now I know I can see better. So I know I'm not the only one that, has eye issues. And what is that going to look like in the future? I don't know. Will I end up going, legally blind? Or will this be something where we have a new technology that is more advanced than what's out there that will actually stop, blindlessness from occurring? My family is also predisposed to have Alzheimer's and dementia. So with that, it makes sense for me to think about that going forward. At least definitely so my family knows, my wife and my son, that they know, but also for others, because if that's the case and you're concerned about, say, retirement, well, you better start thinking about insurance while you're in retirement if you're going to be in a space where you're, having to live in assisted care or an assisted living facility or something like that. And so if that's a possibility that it could happen, then let's just be smart about it, right? So I've been having some conversations with folks in the industry to talk about Medicaid, Medicare, and short-term disability, long-term, but not only from the standpoint of us as individuals, but what it's like also as an industry. That's just as important as hospitalization and emergency rooms. But how many people are really talking about long-term rehabilitation facilities and the way people are treated there and the culture and the community that's wrapped around those things? And I was shocked at how many of them are around. So it behooves us, again, if we're thinking about the human as a body, as an entity, as us all working together, a community, we got to start thinking about everybody, the children, everyone in between, our seniors and the children, our seasoned and the children, and figure out how do we start fixing these things. It makes zero sense for us to have as much as we do, but also have so much disparity in what we have. I've been very public about talking about Mercer County, New Jersey, as being one of the wealthiest counties in the country. It's top 100 wealthiest counties in the country. There's plenty of money here. How can we then pivot just a little bit? Now, I don't even think it needs to be big, small percentages. Just get some stuff done. Like, make sure that, low-hanging fruit is done on a regular basis. Have that be the background and the basis of our society. We have immigrants who are constantly coming into the city and they want to be here. How do we integrate them, get them onboarded, and walk away from these racist ideas of supremacy, where we're thinking that, because someone came from a different country, they're not as educated, or their education isn't as strong. That's going to be like anything, that they're human beings. There's going to be very good doctors from all over, but doctors still make mistakes and people die. Pharmacists are very smart, all different backgrounds. They make mistakes, give the wrong drug, somebody dies. Same thing for any profession. So let's get back to this whole idea of unity, one person, one love, all of us as humans, being more welcoming, bringing more people in, finding out who has the resources, who has a better idea or suggestion. And how can we take that along with what we already have, not cutting anybody down or cutting anybody out or doing anything horrible to anyone, saying, hey, look, we just got something, this might be better. Let's just do this. Because if not, all we're going to do is continue to spin our wheels and then be separated by, like Martin Luther King Jr. said, we'll be separated and segregated on Sunday. The most segregated day of the week. Because people are going to be doing whatever it is they want to do with their folks that they feel more comfortable with. So if we have something that's not human, that is our adversary, then will we come together? All right. Well, this is fun. I'm big shot. I'm excited and stoked. I got my golf clubs over there, PXG Philadelphia. I've been talking about all these different things. Big shout out to the Black Cannabis family, black-cannabis.com. We're going to be doing some more podcasting and so forth about that, medical marijuana, working with municipal governments and talking about this amazing industry that's coming on board, and hemp and hemp and hemp. Wow. Remember, friends, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.